Good evening and welcome to a very special program. What we are looking at today is vaccination and whether India can really ramp up vaccination to the level that we needed, because vaccines are in short supply. Can industry across this country, we've got fantastic pharma players, really come to the plate and ensure that the rate of vaccine manufacture is stepped up? That's what we are looking at in this very special Confederation of Indian Industry NDTV special program. We've got a wonderful panel with us this evening. I'm just going to introduce our panelists. We've got TV Narendran, the President Designate of CII, Hari Bhartia, the Co-Chairperson of the Jubilant Bhartia Group, Dr. Suchitra Ella of Bharat Biotech also joins us, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw also with us. But first, what I want to actually do is take a look and bring you this explainer on why exactly we need to vaccinate faster, and therefore if we are to vaccinate faster, what we need to do in terms of manufacture of vaccines. So consider this. Now India needs to vaccinate 80% of its population. That comes to about 1.112 billion. Now that's the target for vaccination. You can ask why, and the simple answer is if we get to 80%, then we would have achieved what's called herd immunity. Now, what's the current rate of vaccination? The current rate of vaccination is about 1.5 million vaccines or doses per day. Now, with this rate, and let's face it, the absolute numbers might be impressive, but at this rate, it'll still take us 3 years and 8 months to achieve our vaccination target. And that would be roughly January 2025. So we are nowhere close to the pace we need to vaccinate. Why? Because we just don't have vaccines in the first place in the numbers that we need. Now, if we do have to reach the target by the 31st of December 2021, which is what the government hopes to do, what exactly do we need to try and achieve? Well, we need to scale up our vaccinations to 9 million vaccines per day. That is 6 times the current rate of vaccination. And remember, the big assumption over here is that we actually have the vaccines to be able to do this. So let me just take this across to our panel this evening and try and see what India can do from an industry standpoint. Mr. Narendran, let me come to you first, sir. A few months back, we'd spoken about the importance of vaccination, of actually administering the vaccines. Today, we are in a different situation where we need many more vaccines. What can industry do to broad-based manufacture of vaccines?
Vishnu, I think at a fundamental level, we need to make sure that the existing capability is fully utilized and fully exploited. And I think that's where we look at Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech and Dr. Reddy's, etc., to come in and bring us the vaccines. And what I'm hearing from Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech is by August, we will have something like 180 million vaccines available per month. And if that's the level at which we can get the vaccines, then of course industry needs to step up to ensure that not only do we vaccinate our employees, but also the communities and the people around us. And industry is willing to do that, to work hand in hand with the government to help make that happen. And so we, I think, just now need to focus on getting more vaccines. And I think Suchitra is on the panel and she can tell us more about how she's going to do that.
In fact, Dr. Ella, that is my next question to you. Now, we do know that Bharat Biotech is already ramping up production, but you're also getting other manufacturing units to increase the production of Covaxin. Could you tell us firstly a little bit about that?
So, can you hear me? I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
All right.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I would like to just brief you about our initial production capabilities in Hyderabad, which has been said enough about, with 4 internal manufacturing facilities having been taken for the manufacture of Covaxin itself. This comes to at least 200 to 250 million doses per annum, after which we have moved on and brought in another brand new facility of ours, which is on the outskirts of Bengaluru, a brand new facility, a BSL-3 facility, which is required to manufacture these kinds of viral vaccines. So these capacities here are quite high. In fact, they are at least 4 times more than what we currently have at Hyderabad. The third facility, which we have also opened up now, in fact, we have shut down an existing products of Japanese encephalitis vaccines, rabies vaccines, to get into these additional facilities to manufacture Covaxin. The third facility that we are talking about, Rahul, is in Ankleshwar, which again gives us a comfortable manufacturing capacities and volumes of about 200 million doses once it is deployed fully for the production of Covaxin. So this is how we have internally within the group companies.
Just so that we have a little breakup on the numbers, what exactly are you producing in numbers right now of Covaxin, and in a finite period of time, how much will you be able to ramp this up to?
We have right now, all the capacities have been committed to the government procurement as of now. We have consistently fulfilled the commitments that was made to the Ministry of Health since the vaccine rollout started in January. So this month, again, we have completed not only for the central government, which takes 60% of the volumes that we manufacturers have to produce. In addition to that, 20% of the volumes have also been allocated to the states who would want to procure on their own. In addition to that, another 20% of those volumes also then have been allocated to the private hospitals and private entities. So right now, we are scaling up at 200 million doses per annum at Hyderabad alone. And then the next two facilities, which I have just earlier mentioned, will kickstart and give us that additional quantities and volumes that are required going forward in the next, towards this quarter and towards the next quarter coming up.
So as I understand it, ma'am, you are at about 200, you are ramping up to 200 million, and then you will further expand in the new facilities. I take that point, ma'am. Hari Bhartia, let me come to you next, sir. How important is it for formulae of vaccines to actually be shared across manufacturers and across companies, given the emergency that we are in now?
You know, Rahul, there are two components to a vaccine. One is the bulk, the active.
Vishnu, but go ahead, yeah.
Sorry, Vishnu. My apologies. There are two parts to the vaccine. One is the active component, which is the bulk, where it can be manufactured centrally. And the other part is aseptic filling, which requires large aseptic filling facilities, sterile facilities, and large capacities to do that, into converting into doses, which can be then delivered to the places where vaccination has to be done. So I do believe that the licensing out of the bulk can happen, or it could be centrally manufactured and supplied to various fill and finish facilities. Now, to build a new fill and finish facilities takes more than 1.5 years. I think there is an opportunity to convert a lot of sterile and aseptic facilities in India to be able to manufacture vaccines. So what we need to do is to really get the bulk component. And I do believe Sputnik, which is coming into India, is going to follow that strategy where they will manufacture the bulk and supply to India, and then maybe license it out for manufacturing here. Similarly, we can get other newer vaccines which are getting approved, so that we can import bulk and convert that into vaccines by using our own fill and finish facilities. I think India has very large, and this is what our experience has been. When we launched Remdesivir, we could do it in 2.5 months because bulk was produced in one location, and we could hire. We didn't have that facility, but we hired the fill and finish facility to create injectables. So I would look at this kind of a strategy to quickly increase the capacity.
Ms. Shaw, would you like to come in on that? You know, when we were discussing this a few weeks back, you had mentioned that it would take any time, 9 months and above, to start from scratch for a new manufacturing unit after having been given a formula to actually produce this to a state where it's ready for distribution. But if a part, as Mr. Bhatia suggests, if a part of the process, the bulk part, is sourced to certain companies and the fill and finish is done elsewhere, would we be optimizing the scale of manufacture?
So Vishnu, let me answer that in two ways. One is definitely there is a strategy by many vaccine manufacturers around the world to try and outsource fill and finish capacity. That is a slightly shorter process. You still need to go through a tech transfer, you still need to go through validation, and it will take at least the better part of 3 to 4 months, even if you do it at breakneck speed. But to make the bulk vaccine that Hari Bhartia was talking about is not that simple a process. I think that itself would take a while. At least I would imagine that if you want to start from scratch and transfer the technology and get the technology scaled up, I think that would definitely take at least 7 to 9 months before you can actually start supplying that bulk vaccine to fill and finish units. So what I was talking about was to take it from all the way from bulk to the fill and finish would take at least 9 months at the very least, is what I was saying. And I think right now we must also understand that vaccine companies are actually trying to, use all their resources and efforts to scale up their own manufacturing and production. I don't think they have any spare resources to tech transfer. That is the big problem. So if we keep going down that path of saying, vaccine companies must give tech transfer to other companies, I don't think we should bet on it, because tech transfer is a complex process. It's not like a risk like you talk about it. There are very complex situations, and I think it's very different for a biologic compared to a small molecule, which is what remdesivir is.
Okay. Mr. Narendran, India has been pursuing, along with South Africa, at the World Trade Organization, intellectual property rights to be temporarily waived given the emergency right now to enable generic drugs and vaccines possibly to be manufactured. Legally in India, is there anything which really prevents the government from trying to do this right now?
I'm not sure I know the answer to that, whether legally there's anything that can be prevented. But I think the practicality is what we need to think about, and that was what was the point made by Kiran, because it's not something that you can lift and shift. It's something that is very technical, very complex, and it's a vaccine. So you're trying to save lives, and you don't want to compromise on the process and have issues which lead to complications later. So I think the fundamental point is that something which is practical? It's nice to talk about it, but is that something which can really help us in the next few months? Because honestly, the plans that we have from the vaccine manufacturers are that in the next few months we will have enough vaccines. So the problem is, what do we do for the next 3-4 months rather than what do we do after a year or two? Because I think by then the vaccine adequacy period will chip in. Just now we are in a vaccine shortage period, but we think will be adequate as far as vaccines are concerned at the end of the year, calendar year.
Ms. Ella, two questions to you. Firstly, Bharat Biotech is also looking at how you can protect children. So where are you on the science as far as that is concerned? Is there going to be, further trials? And secondly, going beyond Bharat Biotech, would you agree that given the numbers we have and the speed that we require, we would be looking essentially at a single dose vaccine, either injectable or through the nose, as a quick solution? Two questions there.
I will answer them for you, Vishnu. The children's trials have been just approved by the National Regulatory Authority. The Drug Controller General of India gives us permissions. Just because we have also just recently proven the efficacy of Covaxin in the human phase 3 trials, we still would have to, as a manufacturer, as an international protocol and regulatory guideline, have to show safety data in children. So the Drug Controller General's office has given Bharat Biotech the permission to start a children's dose trial. We are ready to, I think, hit it in June. The age group being 2 to 12, because primarily the safety aspect has to be re-established in the form of a study done exclusively in children. And doing pediatric vaccines for most of our part, 70% of our vaccines are pediatric vaccines. So we know how important it is and how also sensitive it is to get this rolling out, especially in the pandemic during the second wave. The second question that you asked about the single dose vaccine. Right now, I think across the world, we are looking at one vaccine technology or platform that is available, which is in the form of a single dose. We ourselves at Bharat have gone ahead and tied up with an American university more than 8-9 months ago. This was last July, August, I'm talking about, whereby we have the technology to work on a nasal vaccine, which is going to be a vaccine that is going to be administered through the nasal route. And this, we believe, will also considerably give us that fillip in the numbers that we are all looking at today, which is pretty high. It's sky high, in fact, for a country this size. I think there is no doubt we have to vaccinate everybody. The trials have started, Vishnu. The first, in fact, I think study 1, the phase 1 of the human trial has already completed. So this is all, again, a very regulated process. It is very technical in nature. It is not plug and play. This is very biological and also, in a clinical setting. It happens in a hospital with principal investigators and clinical researchers. So this is on. We hope to finish phase 2 and phase 3 as well, because it is a nasal route. The administration pathway is much easier compared to an injectable. So we hope to get this rolling as soon as we can clear the phases of the regulatory requirements of the country and the regulator as it is, as such.
So, but ma'am, I completely appreciate how difficult, technical it is, and obviously safety at the core of everything. But do you expect the Bharat Biotech single dose nasal vaccine to be in a position to be released this year?
I would only have to keep my fingers crossed, and I hope that these steps, procedural, regulatory, they are, however, as regulatory in nature as they are technical in nature. They are also governed, Vishnu, by international clinical practices and protocols. So there is, I don't know if there is any way we can cut short timelines, and we cannot predict timelines, but certainly I can tell you one thing. I think for the first time, India has developed and manufactured a vaccine under 10 months. I think this is a record that has happened in this country, and I think we have to be cognizant of that.
No, absolutely, and it's absolutely welcome. And we just need to keep rolling out as many more doses as possible. But I wanted to go back to Mr. Bhartia now. Sir, you've had a chance to listen to all of this, and it just appears clear that there are some solutions which are realistic, some which are unrealistic. Perhaps the entire process of transferring technology, bulk versus fill and finish, and what is actually achievable in our country in a finite period of time might be difficult. This being the case, is it not imperative now for India, for our government, to buy from wherever we can, whether it's from Sputnik, whether it's additional doses from Bharat or the Serum Institute of India, and wherever else we can, buy as much as you can, because we need the numbers right now. This is a great discussion, but if we don't have them on the table, then it's frankly quite pointless.
No, Vishnu, firstly, I agree with you. At today's situation, we should look at buying from anywhere where the vaccines are available. And It may not be available at the same price that the Indian manufacturers are able to produce. It will be higher in price, but so be it. I think we should source everywhere, and the good part is there is continuous innovation going on globally as it is happening in India, where new vaccines will get approved and some of those capacities will be available. And I think the state governments, probably the Indian government, should consolidate all the requirements and really follow up globally that wherever these sources are, wherever the vaccines are available, I think we should buy. And what I'm seeing in countries like US, some states there is complete vaccination and you are starting to see excess. But in this, may not be now fully available, but in the next 2 or 3 months, I'm sure the excess capacity will be available to India. We should definitely look at buying whatever is available. And there are good vaccines which are well proven, safety wise,
Sure.
and we should look at that.
Absolutely. Mr. Narendran, therefore, this is such a key issue right now, that the need to purchase and the need to buy beyond just Bharat Biotech and the Serum Institute, vaccines outside the world in larger numbers. Is this, do you believe, a huge priority now for which there needs to be a massive allotment of government funding? Thus far, perhaps we've not seen it in terms of the numbers that we require, but that this is something that needs to be done, because if we don't have the funds ready, we cannot negotiate for purchase. And as every day passes, we continue to face this situation.
Yeah, that's true, Vishnu. I think multiple state governments have gone out there, and there are global tenders just now. I think corporates are allowed to bring it in through the hospitals. There is a process to bring it in. So I think certainly we should buy if we can. And more importantly, I think between the government, the center, the state and private sector, we've pretty much underwritten the capacities in India, because that was concern a few months back, whether they should ramp up the production and whether there would be enough offtake for that. But now with the government rule saying that 20% can go to private sector, whatever slack is there and available, private sector is willing to pick up. So I think the focus has shifted now to the supply, both from the global sources as well as from India. And I think the government and private sector can work together to address that.
Sure. Mishra, one final question to you. I think the real worry right now is even if we want to buy, even if we've got our funding ready, there may not be those vaccines available in the numbers that we want. And ultimately, all that we have left is what the United States might actually send across to us, which is very welcome, all those AstraZeneca doses. There may be some sort of tie-up with Pfizer, but that's still stuck in paperwork, and we don't know at what numbers they would come. So are we getting ahead of ourselves when we say that the government has to go out there and buy? There may not be those vaccines easily available to purchase.
Well, you're absolutely right, Vishnu, because let's face it, there is vaccine inadequacy the world over. And even if you look at COVAX, we are in a queue. So there are many countries ahead of us who actually have the right to buy vaccines. So I think we should not really depend too much on being able to procure a sizable quantity of vaccines. I, for one, believe we should really focus on ramping up our indigenous manufacturing, which I think our vaccine makers are doing. I think you will be in a position to ramp up, the vaccine volumes to at least 180 and hopefully a few months later to 200 million doses a month. And if you actually do a broad math of what is it that we really need to have as vaccines by the end of the year, I do believe we will have that quantity indigenously manufactured. For instance, if you just look at the number of people who need to be vaccinated in terms of 18 years and over, I think it's close to 900 million people.
Yes.
Of which about 190 million or thereof have already, or are about to receive vaccination, which basically then leaves, a number which actually, if you look at 70% of that, you're really talking about 450 to 480 million people who need to be vaccinated. And if you then double it, because
right.
doses, you're then talking about close to 1 billion
2 doses, yeah.
million doses, and I think we have that number by the end of the year. Actually, even if you get 1 dose in
All right.
people, I think you will be in a much safer place before the end of the year.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us. I think a lot of people, and I would tend to agree with a lot of people, that it's when we get that single dose vaccine coming out that we can speed up the process much more. But in the meantime, let's just hope that we can ramp up the manufacturing in the manner in which we've discussed on this program, because vaccination at this hour, it's so very important. Our vaccination numbers at this stage so very low compared to the population that we have and the requirements. Out of time on this program. From all of us here, goodbye.